I am a French student, and I have one particularity. I'm a sport addict. Since I was born, I'm very fond of sports, playing tennis, soccer, running. In my childhood, I had a big garden that went around my house, so I would do laps and ask my father to time me once, twice, 20 times. And I can assure you, it was exhausting before me. And in school, it was the highlight of my day to go to sports. But it was not the case of everybody. Some finding it boring or preferring play at video games. It's totally fine. Everybody is different. Then today, I want to share how new technological tools can play a role to educate people better and help them to perform and boost their motivation. As humans, we have to adapt ourselves to the new tools of the society. It's been the case for centuries. Who here has ever heard the sentence from his parents or grandparents? Back in my days, things were better. This new generation is terrible. We probably all have. But the truth is that this new generation is not terrible. It is different. And we have to create new ways of educating people. For instance, in school, teachers struggle more and more with keeping their students involved during classes. That generation grew up watching screens, playing video games, full of highly stimulating images. Then, we must understand how new ways could increase student attention. One of these ways is gamification. What is gamification? Gamification is the process, basically, of adding games or game-like elements to something such as education, to encourage participation. Then, in school, it could be summarized as a playful learning. Then, should video games become part of sport education? Remember when the Wii came out? Everyone wanted to play the game Just Dance. I personally do not like to dance. I would say that I'm as gracious as a wooden stick, you know. Anyway, but I tried it. Why? Because the game was fun and challenging. Basically, there is a move on the screen. You need to repeat in the right way to earn points. Then yes, dancing and challenging my friends to dance like Beyoncé, for instance, was very entertaining. So, I started to like dancing more. Because I got to experience something I clearly did not like through the angle of gamification. And the thing is here, when we talk about education today, we must think about gamification. Because we know that running, riding a bicycle, swimming, without a goal except the grade, is not the right way to learn. When teachers manage to make things more interactive and entertaining, it increases the interest and focus of the students. Then, it is a very successful way to get students more active, competitive, motivated, and social. And I hope, personally, that we will see that much more in the future. In the long term, government should support this idea for sport education and think about innovative ways in sport education programs from primary school to university. But gamification does not happen only at school or gyms. Gamification for training at home has become a real standard, especially in individual sports like running or cycling. Gamification has become a global trend. You can do sports everywhere, anytime, even competing with your friends at the other end of the world. For instance, who here knows the platform Swift? Anybody in the room? No? Basically, it's a platform that became a real standard, especially during the lockdown. You can run or cycle in all the places in the world. I have a friend who uses the platform. He made me discover some places I did not even know. These places, for instance, in the middle of nowhere, in the Pacific Ocean. Because we all know, when you live in a big city like Paris or Istanbul, taking your bike to train in the streets, I think it's impossible. Then, what about a little ride in a wonderful places in the world? Like here, for instance. It's nice though. I think it is, personally. Then, video games with augmented reality, virtual reality, and robots even enhance this phenomenon of gamification. They can make it more real. Teacher can make it more real, thanks to that, in simulating real game situations. It's good. And sportmen start to try to use robots in their daily training to improve their performance. Because imagine a robot, an intelligent robot, thanks artificial intelligence and deep learning that will remember the athlete movement. It will then increase the vivacity because it will anticipate the athlete movement. Because when you are the number one and know your mind is better than you, like for instance, Novak Djokovic, the famous tennis player, or Floyd Mayweather, only robots can make you even better. Because as we know, humans make mistakes, but robots are perfect. And to achieve excellence, you must target perfection. Then robots will help us to perform more and to achieve excellence. But if we talk about sports and performance, we should talk about health. We tell people, do sport. But how to stay healthy and in shape in the long term? Basically, the question is, how make it less dangerous? I'm from Bordeaux, the southwest part of France. In this region, you either play rugby or you surf. My father played rugby, so did my little brother. So I started to play rugby too. It was mandatory. I played rugby during 5 years. It was 5 wonderful years. But I stopped it when I was 17 years old. Why? Because rugby started to be too harsh for me. Many shots and head contacts. And I saw some former players, professional players in rugby, ending up on a wheelchair at 40 years old. Then I did not want to continue. But instead of just stopping my reflection here, I was like, I'm the generation of the new technology. It was 6 years ago. Then why not using robots or even virtual reality to at least reduce those shocks in the training? For the professionals, of course, but us too, because I was far from being a professional. But it would have been useful for my friends and myself too. Then we found a robot that can replace place a human limb in American football or rugby field. To take the shots, to take heavy blows, and reducing the risk of dangerous head impacts. It's not really democratized right now, but I would like these tools becoming a real standard in the future, because it will reduce the shocks, reduce injuries, and reduce the neurological disease. But with all these new tools, how should we handle with that? The Nobel Peace Prize Christian Lynch famously said that technology is a useful servant and a dangerous master. And educators should be careful to use these tools in a way that is focused on human needs. Then, that's my point. Technology is here to help us, not to separate people from each other. The new technology tools I've introduced to you today will help take sport education to the next level and provide incredible opportunities. Sport education and education play a major role in our society. That's why we, as sport enthusiasts, should strive for excellence and innovative ways to educate the next generation of leaders. To finish, I would like to finish with a citation of Nelson Mandela. It's a bit long, but it's interesting. Education is a powerful weapon for changing mentalities and transcending differences. And sports is a source of inspiration, of surpassing oneself, of tolerance, and of learning to respect others. These two elements contribute to creating a more just and fraternal society. Then, these technologies for education have one purpose: help us to unleash and reach our full potential. Thank you.